and welcome to Mina's Bookshelf for part 2 of a tarot and oracle deck combos for the winter season. Uh, Part 1 was uploaded. You can take a look at that. If I will not forget, I can put a link to that video in the description box of this one. This is part 2. So we're going to take a look at tarot and oracle decks that I've been working with during the winter season, since I'm about to store them away, since the spring is coming, and I'm making room for a new set of oracle and tarot deck that are more in tune with the spring season. So we're going to take a look at some pairings that have worked really well for me. One of them is the Titanic Oracle deck. This is an indie deck. It comes in this beautiful, this is the deluxe edition. It comes in a beautiful box, wooden box. And it's a very nice deck that caused a little bit of controversy in the tarot community because some collectors and readers didn't find it of good taste because of the subject. I personally love this deck. I work with it a lot for ancestors readings, and artistically, I think it's great. There is a Kickstarter campaign that is being run right now by the creator for the second edition, and the second edition is slightly different. The cardstock will be matte. I think there will be no borders on the major arcana, and all the minors will be fully illustrated. This is not exactly a pip deck in the strict sense of the word, because even the pip cards have a few elements that will help you get to the meaning of the cards. And the new edition will have full scenic illustration in each of the cards, and it's going to be beautiful. I'm contemplating backing that edition as well. I personally like it. It works really well for me, and it worked really well. Oh, look, this beautiful holographic black edging. It worked really well in combinations with the Ciro Marchetti decks, the Gilded Reverie Lenormand, and the Fin de Siècle Keeper that you see next to it. So let's take a look at them together. The bygone era feel is there. This is the Keeper deck, and look at this. Also, the Lenormand deck looks great, would look great with it. All these cards are glossy, and you may see a little bit of reflection of the light from my window, but what I like about the glossy cards is that makes the color so much more vivid. Okay, the interesting fact about this deck is that if you put together in order all the minor arcanas, they will create a big picture. Okay, so this was the Titanic Oracle deck in combination with the Ciro Marchetti, Lenormand, and Keeper decks. I'm going to put these aside for right now. We're going to take a look at the next pairing. The next pairing is a very easy one, very colorful, very fairy tale like style, and it would be the Tarot of the Divine by Yoshitani. This one comes in this beautiful box. It's a deck inspired to fairy tale from different countries. And this is a deck that came in my collection, went away, and then came back because I just realized that I liked it and I missed it. And goes really well with the Sacred Traveler Oracle cards by Denise Linn. This is all these are mass market decks. This is a Hay House deck that I have edged in purple. And when I was in the store to purchase my second copy of the Tarot of the Divine, I happened to see Goddess Love by Wendy Andrew, an oracle deck by Wendy Andrew and published by Rockpool. And I thought, why not? And I was not mistaken. They go really well together. The readings with these decks are very uplifting and inspiring. So this is what the Tarot of the Divine looks like. Each of these cards is inspired to a fairy tale. And that's beautiful. It's so colorful. It comes in this very nice textured kind of linen finished cardstock. The cards are very resilient. They can take any sort of shuffling. And the beauty of it is that you can actually do a reading around one card only, because each of them is associated to a story, to some folklore. And there is a little guidebook in the box, but if you wish, you can also purchase from Yoshi Yoshitani, from the same author, from the same creator, also the extended fairy tale book with their illustrations, and where you can actually read the fairy tale and maybe find some more connections that might resonate with you when you do your reading. And something about the artwork of this deck made me feel like it would be a great combo, and it is. Just look, for example, how beautiful they look together. I love this oracle deck because there's a beautiful artwork, and then there's a main keyword and a key phrase underneath, and the artwork is just that, has that beautiful fairy tale children's books look, that I thought it would be a great complement for the fairy tales illustrated in this deck. In combination with this too, I also found that this deck worked really well together. This is Denise Linn's Sacred Traveler. Same sort of vibe, extremely colorful cards, fairy tale kind of scenarios and landscapes and characters. And I love this deck for the same reason. There's a lot to resonate with. It could be something in the picture, it could be something in the main keywords on the top, it could be something in the blurb on the bottom, and it works great for me. Discovering the truth with the Knight of Wands, breaking trails with the Seven of Cups, vast vistas with the Queen of Wands, narrow pathways with the Five of Wands, and taking shelter with the Queen of Coins. So this was another great pairing for me. And now I'm gonna put these away and move to the next one. We're almost at the end, people. We're almost at the end, but I really wanted to share this with you before I put these decks away. And you know, I will miss them, but I have so many decks in my collection. I really want to have want to give every deck a chance, and I have so many great decks for the spring and the summer season. I will probably do a video for those as well before I start working with them, so I'll be on the lookout for that. The other combination that resonated with me a lot during the winter season is the Beautiful Creatures Tarot by J.R. Rivera. I don't keep this deck in the original box. I only have the book around with me. I put my decks, some of my decks, in these cloths. This is a beautiful dark deck. Beautiful and dark. And the artwork is very recognizable. Is from Jasmine Beckett Griffith. And I used to love her and follow her even before I got interested in tarot reading and tarot collecting. So I was already a big fan. These cards use pre-existing artwork, and in some cases it might be a little difficult for a beginner reader to make an association between the traditional meaning of the cards and the artwork, but the guidebook is fantastic and it offers so many spreads. You can have a lot of fun with this deck. It seemed natural. These are the beautiful backs, by the way. I love the darkness of this picture. Of course, the first one that comes to mind is Le Vampire, Oracle Cards and Guidebook by Lucy Cavendish with artwork by the same artist, Jasmine Beckett Griffith. And this is another beautiful Oracle deck. And for those who normally write in their reviews that this is quite a kind of a juvenile kind of deck, is more for a very young audience, I dare to differ. I find these Oracle decks, and I'll show you also the other ones, to be so poignant, so spot on. It's not even funny. It's eerie how spot on they are. I personally love this artwork. I love the fact that we have a key phrase and more keywords on the bottom, and the book, it's fantastic. It's fantastic, and I would invite you to give this combo a chance. Now that I'm looking at it, I will probably use it also during the spring. I pair these two decks also with the Oracle of Shadows and Light by Lucy Cavendish. She's one of my favorite. Jasmine Beckett Griffith is the author of the artwork. This is a Schiffer deck, I think. This is a Blue Angel deck, and so are the Shadows and Light Oracle and the Oracle of the Shapeshifter, which is the other one that I'm going to show you in combination with this deck. Beautiful, beautiful. Love the backs of this one. And this is another perfect combo for me. Would go wonderfully with the Beautiful Creatures Tarot, obviously because it's from the same creator. And I love the keywords and the key phrases on these decks. Are great. Readings with these decks are so straightforward and so clear and so on point. I would really not dismiss these decks just because they might look, like perfect for a very young audience. I actually feel like they're great for every kind of reading, every kind of audience, every age. So let's take a look also at the Shapeshifters. I know that there's an Australian edition, an Australian edition of this deck that has a different artwork on the back of the cards, and even the write-up in the guidebook sounds a little different. The only thing that I don't like about this deck is the back. The artwork on the back. I don't really care for it. In fact, I was thinking about rebacking it also because this one of all the decks Maybe because it's published by Salmon and Schuster, actually. It's not Blue Angel. Has a very flimsy cardstock and would look good with a different back as well. But again, keywords, key phrases, blurbs are fantastic and they read so well. The artwork is beautiful by the same artist, and it's the perfect marriage made in heaven. So this was the combination of the Oracle of the Shapeshifters, the Oracle of Shadow and Light, and the Oracle of the Vampire with the beautiful creatures tarot. I'm going to put these to the side, and I'm going to take a look probably at the last pairings. This one was the Greenwich Tarot that I keep in a cloth, in a reading cloth. I should have done this before. Okay, so this is the deck. It's a Llewellyn deck. Very recognizable. These are the backs. I definitely see a Christmas theme here. And it's a Wicca inspired deck. Reads wonderfully. I love the artwork. The artwork is from by Kiri Ostergaard Leonard, and the creator of the deck is Anna Mora. It's one of my favorite, and I'm always tempted to use it all year round, despite the fact that there's a very strong winter, fall season feel in it. Now, the decks I've been combining this deck with were the Season of the Witch Yule Oracle by Lorianne Anderson and Juliette Diaz. Obviously, because of the Yuletide theme. It's a beautiful deck published by Rockpool with this fantastic gilding. These are the backs, and the entire deck is inspired to Yule, to the Christmas season. So these are some of the cards. And they look really good with the artwork by Anna Mora in this other deck. With this one, I've paired the Messenger Oracle by Ravine Filan. This is the older edition. I know that there's a new edition published by Blue Angel. They used a new cardstock, and the new edition doesn't have border. I specifically looked for this copy though. I always like the older versions because they have this kind of old school look, and this is another beautiful deck. So this is how they look together. Sorry, I was momentarily distracted by somebody walking in. I realized that I'm not in shot, perfectly in shot. Okay. So we have Perseverance with the Seven of Chalices and Let the Emotions Flow. And I think they look really good together. Perseverance and the Seven of Chalices. Somehow they resonate for me. And then we have the Forest with the Nine of Wands and Know Your Power. The great thing about these cards is that they have a poem here on the bottom and very extensive meanings in the guidebook. And then family with the Page of Wands and respect your boundaries. Together with this trio of cards, I also used my rune cards. I honestly don't remember the name of the creator of this deck. It's a very little deck, and it comes with one of those boxes. They contain a book. It comes on very flimsy cardstock because the main item is the book, really. But they serve the purpose. They give you some general meanings for your reading, some focal points. And I've been using them in combination with this deck, with the Green Witch Tarot and the Season of the Witch. So putting these away. Oopsie daisy. Okay, I have very few left to look at. I'm making a mess with these cards. Too many decks and not enough time to enjoy them all. The other combination was the Oak, Ash and Thorn deck. I don't remember the name of the creator for this one. I apologize, but it's such a well-known deck, indie deck. The beautiful watercolor artwork. Very winter, fall vibes with all the... It's an animal deck, mainly crows and ravens, rabbits and foxes, one of my favorite. And because of the foxes, I found it very interesting in combination with Lucy Cavendish, Foxfire, the Kitsune Oracle. And I thought that the pairing, maybe if not thematically, energetically, and stylistically, was great. Okay, these are the backs of these oracle decks. They're beautiful. And they have foxes. Let's look for some cards. All right, this is one. I thought that they looked really well together. There are owls, wolves. It's a very pretty deck. It's an indie deck. I know that they came out with a new one with that has a dragon theme, and I thought if I ever get it, I will probably pair it with this oracle deck as well, because this oracle deck has dragons too. I don't know why exactly, but there are dragons in this deck. I love it though. That's one. I love this deck. Oh, here's another one. Okay, and another combo, and this would be the last one, really. It's really the last one. I'm going to put this one away. And I realized that I just dropped a few crystals. The other one is the Sasrabito Tarot in combination with Wisdom of the Golden Path. And I found this combination to be great for relationship readings. So this is the deck. The edition I have is one of the oldest ones, and the one that has the glossy cardstock. I honestly don't mind glossy cardstock. I actually like it. And I combined it with this Blue Angel deck by Tony Carmine Salerno. It's a great deck for relationship readings. I'll give you just a few examples. Wisdom, don't compromise. I am blessed. I am true, filled of dreams. Goddess of oneness, new beginnings. I mean, the artwork is completely different, but there was something about the energy of these two decks that really somehow spoke to me and gave me very great readings. In combination with the Oracle of the Golden Path, I also used the Botan Tarot, and this is a deck that I used also with the Kitsune Oracle deck, but this is a deck that I will definitely put in my spring collection. There's something about the colors and very delicate palette of colors that makes me think about spring. So this is a deck that I'm keeping out and I'll be using during the warmer season for sure. But I thought it looked great with the Tarot of the Golden Path. Look at this combo here, for example. All right, I think this is it for now. Thank you so much for patiently watching these two videos. If you had a chance to watch both parts, please do keep a look at my playlist to find part one. Thank you so much for your attention. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell button, and until next time, many blessings.